Hey guys, Jesse again with barnfinds.com. We're doing a garage update. I'm here with our 1965 Beetle, and we've had this car, we've had it for a couple of years. Well, maybe it's been about a year and a half.
No, it's longer.
Longer than that?
Yeah.
So it's fun. We drive it around once in a while. There were little things we've done. So it was missing an emblem. You know, it's a real original car, mostly original paint. I think just the back deck lid and the tail light housings have been repainted. Otherwise, it's in good shape. We bought this from a older lady that she'd owned it since she was like 16, and it was probably only, I don't know, 5 to 10 years old when she got it.
She bought it from her brother-in-law.
She bought it from her brother-in-law?
The car.
Yeah, so she loved this car, and we love it. It's a lot of fun. My kids love this car. All kids love these, you know, Herbie and everything. We replaced the running boards. It had old black ones that were so old they actually rotted through. This car doesn't have any rust though, but they were totally trash. So we got some of those from Wolfsburg West. Put those on. The correct ones. They matched the trim there on the body, the welting stuff. So it doesn't have rust. Someone did. It must have had a little under the battery, so there is a patch under there, but otherwise it's in great shape. It's the original headliner, nice clean dash. So what we've done on this car, when we got it, it had some period modifications. It had a wooden Grant steering wheel. Maybe I'll show you that in a sec, but put a reproduction steering wheel. It had holes cut in the door panels, so actually replaced the door panels with nice new ones. We're gonna fill the radiator. Oh, yep, there's the Grant steering wheel. It's okay, but I like the original better. We're gonna fill the radio hole. We got a plate. Just got to paint it. Whoever put the steering in it was at least careful. They didn't cut holes in the metal or anything in the door panels like you see sometimes. Like I've said before, I don't really like it when people put modern stereos in some of these old cars. You know, I get it why you do it, but I mean, a lot of these cars don't get driven that far anyways, so I don't know. Unless you have something that looks period, I wouldn't do it. 80s radio does not look good in this. But anyways, so you think, you know, door panels should be a pretty easy deal. You just order them and slap them in, right? Well, I ordered these door panels during the pandemic, and since production was screwed up, it took like, I swear it took a couple months to get them here. They're good quality door panels, see? They're from, I forget who they're from. They're from whoever manufactures them. Maybe I'll look it up and add it into the comment section. But anyway, so it should be easy, right? Well, a lot of these clips were broken off. The old ones are missing, and so I had to get new clips, and I had to get these little rubber deals that go in there. Okay, not too big a deal, right? Then I started noticing that this door panel, so just the passenger side had grab handles. The other side, you just use the your door handle, right, to shut the door. You don't have an armrest, but these have an armrest. And I noticed when you pull on it, it was all floppy. Well, it turns out when I pulled the panel off, this little piece of metal that you see right here was down in here. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And then I figured out, well, it's a clip to hold the back of the armrest on. See? So you just clip that in right there, so that you have a solid armrest. So I'm gonna drill holes and rivet that on there so it's right. So a little simple project you think will take you 10 minutes turns into a couple days. But that's okay, we'll get it done. So back here though, here's where the exciting part is happening. Josh is here working on the engine. So this is a 40 horse. We're pretty sure it has a big bore kit in it. The previous owner said her husband, yeah, that light's kind of shining right on us here. Okay. Her husband rebuilt the engine before he passed away. Did a good job, I think, but she thought he put a big bore kit in it. And I mean, there's no proof, but this car has a lot of pep, just, you know, more than 40 horses. And like, here's an upgraded, like, old school Thunderbird muffler hanging under there. But you know, not a lot of other clues to what's going on, just a nicely done rebuild. But then we got the wild hair. Hey, maybe we should put a Judson Supercharger on it for even more boost. So we thought, man, this would be easy. We got a kit that has everything, because there's a lot of parts, right? You gotta have a lot of stuff. You gotta rejet your carb. You gotta have all this linkage under here. You gotta have spacers. We have an oil cooler. You can't really see it, but it goes back in there. It's just like copper coil that's wrapped around. Looks kind of cool. We got an oil filter. Where's that? Well, you gotta install, like, you know, here's our Marvel Mystery Oiler. You gotta feed oil to it. Yeah, we got a old school Fram oil filter
in there.
Going there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we have a whole box of goodies we got with the Supercharger. Lots of parts and instructions. You know, cool air filter. Got a magneto in there for them. Check this out. Sweet. So we thought, well, this would be simple. We got the belt. We got everything. We got hardware to install it. There's a pulley we need to put on there. Thought piece of cake, right? Well, like the door panels, it wasn't that simple. Josh started digging into it, and we started reading a little bit, and well, the Supercharger was hitting the alternator, and that was the problem. We had an alternator that when they rebuilt it, they upgraded and put an alternator instead of a generator. They put a different fuel pump, because that's what you do. You see a more room, and a different carburetor. It had a more, you know, I had a modern carburetor on it.
Pick 30.
The Pick 30, whatever the newest, what you buy from all the Volkswagen stores, right? And so yeah, it wasn't gonna work. So like, crap. So we found a guy in town who traded us our alternator setup for a generator. And we got lucky. This is a 12 volt, like they would have used in later Beetles or in Porsches. And so we stick that on there. So we got a 12 volt generator, and it looks like it's gonna fit, right, Josh?
Clearance.
So we had to get a different fuel pump and a different carburetor too. Josh rebuilt that one. Hopefully it's good. It's 28 picked, and so we're getting close. So be sure to subscribe to our channel to get updates of when we actually get it all put together, and we'll let you know if we think it's worth doing. It should be a fun first test drive though. Check out a Judson Supercharger. We've always wanted to put a Judson on a car, and we've read that Beetles were the most popular ones to do because the engines were underbuilt and could produce more. They didn't have a lot of power to begin with, and the Judson was a nice option, especially in these 40 horse. Even today they don't make a lot of upgrade stuff for these. People go to the bigger engines, the 1600s. You get the twin port heads, or you go a 1200 and, you know, a 36 horsepower and do a Crossa kit kind of thing. But this was the way to go on these. So we have big bore kit, we think, you know, upgraded exhaust, and now a Judson Supercharger. It should be sweet. It should be lots of fun. So we will see how that goes. So wish us luck. Oh, and I was going to mention too, the previous owner put a Petronics distributor on this thing, and it ran like crap even with that new carburetor. And so we started thinking about it and trying stuff. We actually had the old vacuum advanced distributor in a box. We slapped that on. It fixed a lot of the issues with the running. It runs a lot better. So I recommend don't switch to Petronics. Do the points. It's not that hard, guys. I know everybody says to switch, but those distributors are low quality. So unless you're going to rebuild it, I wouldn't mess with that. But anyways, so be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing more updates on this one. It should be lots of fun when it's all done. It'll look nice, and we'll get it all cleaned up and go for a test drive. But until next time,